Hello, special YouTube friends. Tonight it's Sunday night, and the energy has been kind of off today. So I wanted to do what does our higher self, what does our higher self have in message for us today? What is the message our higher self is trying to convey to us? This will be a timeless reading, so whenever you find this reading, if it applies to you, please take it as it resonates. Again, my name is Natalie, and my channel here is Power Moon Tarot. So let's start off with a couple breaths and focus in on the three piles that are here right now. Okay. Please pick a pile, whatever pile resonates to you. First pile here we have Witch. Second pile here we have Hex. And third pile here we have Hand Fasting. Or as we would say, Healer, Banishment, and Union. So whatever card you feel drawn to today for today's energy, I'm already getting some messages off of the cards here. I've pre-shuffled these cards. I have no idea what's underneath them. Please use the top card here to pick a pile. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Okay, so let's get started with pile number 1. Pile number 1, the Healer pile. So what does your higher self have to tell you today? Right away, the crow here in the picture is showing up, and I think that that's meaningful. I know I've been seeing a lot of crows in the morning and birds talking. Talking to me in the morning, I also see this little star up here, so I'm thinking of the third eye and the crown chakra, and I'm thinking of the light coming in. And basically, you know, we might be feeling kind of down in the dumps today emotionally. It's kind of a rough day emotionally, but I do think the light is shining in. So for those of you who picked Healer, maybe that will resonate with you. So with that, let's get into our reading. What is your higher self trying to tell you today? Okay. So for pile number 1, I definitely feel like with pile number 1, you've come a long way. You have been on a long journey, and you know, it hasn't been easy at times, but I do feel that you've been moving forward. You've been walking your path. You've been noticing the signs along the way. I do see with the horse here with the mask on that there has been, and then also here with the 7 of Pentacles and the expression on his face, that there's been a lot of seriousness and feeling like everything has to get done now and everything has to be done perfectly, with the Justice card. And so I'm seeing, you know, and I'm also seeing here with the Moon, I'm seeing a very accomplished woman. It could be a man too, but I'm seeing a very accomplished woman, somebody who basically, you know, has been under initiation from the planets. And if you look at the cards here, when I say initiation from the planets, I mean planetary energy is hitting you now. That might sound weird, but planetary energy and the planetary shifts are hitting you much more fiercely than before. And with this rope here with spirit, I go back to, I just got an image of Kill Bill with the girl, I forget what her name was, but the Asian gal with the rope that used to spin it and used to grab people with her rope. And she was like, you know, she was all but like 5 feet tall, probably 110 pounds. And yet she was a deadly assassin. And I also see with the serpent here, the coiling of the serpent, and that, you know, on the outside, it might, you know, the moon can be, well, the moon is very soft and feminine, but I also see a forthright accomplishment here, and I see that you're not someone to be messed with. And with this ethos here, abide by the Wiccan law, you must believe in perfect love and perfect trust. And with the Justice card here too, I see this connection with law, and basically like your credos, your ethos, the items that you're putting out into the world are very strong right now, and you are in your wisdom, you are in your strength, and you've, like here with the Knight of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles, you've done a lot of the work. You're being recognized for the work that you've done. But you still have you're still very much, I do think here with the law and the emphasis of you must do this and you must abide by this, is with the moon here and with this initiation, it's like we're being brought into our greater truth, our higher awareness. But I also think that there is a lot of emphasis on what you must do and what you should do, and you're holding yourself to a very high standard. And I feel like because we have the serpent energy here, we're looking at cause and effect, we're looking at karma with justice, we're looking at with spirit here in the rope, we're looking at somebody who's a super badass, and also someone who's in touch with all the planetary energies and cycles. But there's a lot of emphasis here on what is the right action? What is right action? What is morally the right step? And being very keyed in with the law here, being very keyed in to, and I will say with the healer energy that we have here, the healer energy is showing us that we're leveling up in our abilities, and that we know the proper way to do things. We absolutely know the proper way to do things, and we've been recognized by it. I do think that there is a softer, with the Knight of Cups here, and the moon, there's a softer flow that we could embrace. And I'm seeing the water right now, so I definitely feel that there is a softer flow that we could embrace in our spiritual lives. And the higher self is coming through to say, hey, relax a little bit. You've done an incredible amount of work, and you're being recognized by it, and you're living your truth. You're not embodying qualities that, you know, you're not telling people one thing and then doing another. You are definitely walking your truth and walking the line. But I also feel here the initiation. This is also an invitation. And these planets spinning right here are also an invitation. And the serpent coil here is an invitation to go deeper into your initiation with spirit. And for those of you, you might be holding too tightly onto your philosophical, I've got to go by this, and this. You might need to loosen up a little bit so that you can get more of a softer infusion of information. So I'm going to read on the moon and the serpent. I'm going to read from my the Mystical Shaman Oracle book here for you guys. This is an awesome deck, and I'm just kind of getting to know the deck. So I'll read on the moon. So this card calls you to go on a journey of renewal, just like the moon does every month. So you can get unstuck, whether from a specific situation or life in general. For this, you need to make time to be with yourself without the distractions of modern society, and have the courage to look at the unwanted and unembraced parts of your being until you arrive at a place of resolution. Shamanic lore explains that the finest treasures of humanity are hidden where most people are afraid to go. So that's interesting with the serpent as well, like definitely going places that other people are afraid to go. When you see the planets here, it looks like, you know, other worlds, like many moons. I feel like many ancestral lineages too, like you might be a Cancer or have moon in Cancer or Sun or Venus or something like that, but your ancestors, you have ancestors spread out all over the place, not just here on Earth. So that's something that I'm picking up here with card number 37. And number 46, when you shed the past gracefully, life will not strip it away with great drama. Indeed, that is something you want to avoid. Do not use your energies to seduce others or allow yourself to be seduced, even by your own ideas. So, you know, follow your rules and your laws that you've set up, and don't let, you know, the adoring crowd, if you have been starting to get recognized for some of the things that you've been doing, throw you off, and really realizing that you have initiation here, and the serpent power of the Kundalini is stirring within your chakras, gently asking you to embrace its mystery. Shed the old skin that you have been attached to and welcome the vulnerable pink underbelly that will bring you fresh experience of your life. Your passion and sexuality are awakening, and this can be scary. Trust the wisdom of the serpent to transform your sensual energies into beautiful, original manifestation. So yeah, I think you're being invited into deeper levels here with the initiation. And for God's sakes, you know, you are living by your truth and by what you believe in. And you can, you know, Knight of Cups, first card out, you can kind of relax a little bit. I think pile number one, relax and let the new information that's coming to you come out. So that's what I have for you, pile number one. And let us move on with pile number two. So pile number two, this was the hex card, or the banishment card that I had out earlier, and it says point. This finger is pointing so much, and it even looks like, doesn't it look like two faces of a baby, like facing each other in that picture? And then I also see like an owl up here too, and I just heard the word two-faced. So if any of you guys are dealing with any situation where you feel like it's two-faced or not equal, and somebody's either really taking it out on you or you're taking out on someone else, what does your higher self have to say about this situation? Ooh, strength card right out of the gate. Okay, King of Wands, yeah. Five of Wands, Ace of Wands, fertility, Samhain, death. Okay. The arrow, the mystical shaman. Ooh, pile number two. So I definitely think the situation that I was talking about with the two-facedness, or some boundary that you need to set, is coming through here with the Strength card. We see her gently closing the jaw of the lion, and she's basically saying shush and be quiet. And so this is kind of like our lower nature wanting to come out and play, but either us saying to our lower nature, shush. And I do feel like, this is interesting with the King of Wands looking in on this. So someone is observing this, is observing the way that you're handling a situation with so much grace and so much dignity and strength. Someone in a position of authority is seeing what you're doing. Maybe it's your higher self is seeing what you're doing, but maybe it's actually is a person in general who's seeing what you're doing here. I do feel like here too with Samhain and the Death card and the stare here, like I feel like people are seeing this and watching what you're doing. Also, I have to point out the abundance of the wands and the arrow and the Beltane fertility. Definitely some sexual energy going on here as well. With the Five of Wands, there's definitely other people who are influencing this situation. And this could be a romantic situation where others are trying to like force an ending or create conflict in your relationship. And if you feel like that's the case, pile number 2, I'm telling you, if that resonates with you and what's going on right now, then it does look like there's some shit fight going on and you're really having to kind of take the higher road and ignore it and just stay in your truth. And I do feel like you're coming up with creative solutions to deal with some of these people in your life. If you have some people around you who are just generally creating, unpleasant atmospheres with the Five of Wands here, or maybe all out fights. And I do feel like you have been hanging back from these fights. You have been like hanging back and not really jumping in with it. And I do feel like here with the Ace of Wands that it's because your guides in spirit has basically told you, like, look, you have a weapon, you can fight back if you need to, but you really don't need to. There's so many wonderful opportunities around you and so many beautiful things that you could be doing besides even watching some of this shit go on. I feel like there's definitely people that are watching what is going on and kind of expect you to just kind of hang around and watch it as well. But Spirit's coming through with a message for you saying you don't have to stick around in these situations. Like here in this card, she's kind of watching on but looking down, and she could just actually turn around and walk the other way. And I think that's, with hex and banishment, it's like walk away, turn around and banish these situations from your life. I'm also seeing with the fire here and then the Ace of Wands, a lot of passion around you right now too, especially with the King of Wands. And it's all about using our passion in a way that is healthy for us, right? Using passion in a way that doesn't just stir the pot and make things worse, but actually allows us to take advantage of new opportunities and meeting new people and having amazing, sexual connections too. It looks like here for you, pile number 2. The thing that I'm getting from Spirit for you guys, what your higher self is saying is good job. Good job not engaging. Good job holding your center on this, and you can still keep walking away from it. Like, you do not have to engage. And so the arrow for number 3, I'm going to go ahead and read the arrow for you guys. This is a time to admit that by continuing on the path you're on, you might be shooting yourself in the foot. Could it be that you've become so attached to winning this game that you have missed the true mark? What if your arrow was never meant to land where you wanted it? Now is the time to regroup and ask yourself if what you desire is really worth your energy. This is a sign that something better is waiting. Consider the wisdom not in getting what you want. Suffering in this case is a pathway to heal the parts of you that feel unworthy, the parts that worry there isn't enough. Make peace with those voices. What's truly yours will be waiting for you. The arrow is zinging through the air. It is inviting you to pay attention and signifying you're about to make your mark in some aspect of your life. Yeah, so you might be shooting yourself on the foot if you continue on this path. And I really see this here with the girl in the Five of Wands here. She's kind of walking, it looks like she's still around these people that are in this kind of fight. She's still kind of being, she's still being watched. She's still, even though she's not necessarily participating in full, she's still there. And I think the arrow is telling you, like, shoot your arrow wherever you want to go. What's that song? Follow your arrow wherever you may go. I think it's a country song. I always thought it was really cute. But yeah, you don't have to stick around for that. And then here we have number 38, the mystical shaman. Okay. When the mystical shaman appears, you are invited to consider the ability to live without attachment. You are called to create and dream your life, to act on inspiration and divine impulse without fixating on a known story of success or achievement. Can you observe the stories you tell yourself and others? What if you could become a mystery to yourself? Who would you become if you stopped telling the tales that have defined you up until now? You do not have to live in a story that has roots in the past. What if there was no need to explain to anyone, not even yourself? The way to your most extraordinary life is to become a blank slate and to allow the form of your dreams and desires to show up as it will. This is a sign of manifesting a life beyond your wildest dreams. And I definitely think that's showing up here with the Ace of Wands and fertility, because this is about true alchemy, and knowing that becoming a blank state and starting off basically at zero with the aces it's a beautiful opportunity and a sign to that we are supreme manifestors. And if you look at the ace, they're holding onto the wand. If you look at the king, he's also holding onto the wand. So I could also take this as meaning the king has like mastered his emotional passionate nature, and instead uses it in ways that are very beneficial for him. So maybe all the time that you spent before trying to calm down these situations, you can actually now put it into the projects that you really want to invest in and really shoot your arrow. So the mystical shaman, I feel like, is here to help you realize that really anything you want to, like, you are magic, and anything you want to make is cool, is good with the universe. So thank you, pile number 2. I hope that helped and resonated for you. Now moving on to pile number 3. So what does your higher self, pile number 3, have to tell you? And this card I picked as your signifier here was the hand fasting card, or the union card. And hand fasting is not the same as a like signed certificate marriage, but it is you kind of tie your wrists together with another person, and you do it. It can be done at covens or celebrations with witches, and it's kind of like an informal way to be married to someone, although it's taken very seriously in the Wicca tradition. So for those of you that picked pile number 3, maybe this has something to do with the partnership. We shall see. Okay. Ooh. Oh, totally, pile number 3. Ooh, you are so earthed, pile number 3. You guys are earthed to the maximum. I definitely feel like for you, pile number 3, you might have gone through some really hard times with your significant other when it comes to money and resources. And I do feel like there has been some specific patterns that might have developed around money and resources with your significant other, or even with yourself if you're currently single. Because I feel like there has been an atmosphere before where it was like, kind of maybe get what you can while you can because resources are tight, and maybe you experience some financial hardship together, or you've been through some significant hardships together, and you had to really step it up. Both of you had to step it up for the family in general. And I feel like you guys might, because this is such heavy earth energy in this reading, I feel like you guys also might have had times when the concerns of the 3D, we call that, is kind of silly, but the 3D world, which is like the physical world, like, job, money, security together, have probably been, the first concerns on your guys' minds. And I feel like, there might have been an aspect of judgmental, like somebody's trying to come forth with money or trying to put an effort, but somebody is being judged and is not, and is kind of being looked at like, you're kind of silly. Look what I have versus what you have, right? And I think it's kind of created, maybe that's been like a pattern that you've dealt with a lot in your life. Pile number 3, like you've looked at other people, you've been making efforts, but people look on your efforts as meager or small, right? And it's really made you feel forlorn, I think. It's made you feel like, God, what is it all even for? And like, why do I even try? Like, if this is just gonna be, if this is gonna be the case all the time, like, why even try? And if the universe or your higher self is trying to offer you a new perspective and an emotional cleansing, right? Because this is the only water card here, is this 4 of Cups. So your higher self is definitely offering you like emotional healing and offering you an opportunity. I mean, look at this beautiful tree behind her, is this gorgeous tree, and in a nice landscape. And when we focus on only what we think is there, and we're just kind of missing the point, right? And I see this here too with this Ancestors card, where we've got the skeleton and we've got, kind of this bleak scene, but there's stars all around the skeleton. It's like, remember where we used to be, and here we are now. We're in this beautiful, it's probably like gravestones here, but to me, I see it as like a beautiful garden versus times that were very hard and trying. And you see it here too with the 5 of Pentacles, where they're walking in a snowstorm and they look very tired and worn. But inside of these windows is a beautiful church. And in here we see this beautiful garden. Here we also see the beautiful garden. And here, this to me is also like abundance. This to me also resonates with the King of Pentacles. And I think, you might be coming in touch more with the part of yourself that's super resourceful and actually, and I feel like with hand fasting too, it's like doing things on the cheap. Like you can go and get married and spend tons of money and spend, $50,000, $100,000 on a wedding, but you could also just go and stand in a beautiful, in a beautiful nature area and make your promises to one another and go from there, right? Like we don't have to spend incredible amounts of money to, or time or effort to have things look good and have things be satisfying. So I think and to stay open, right? If there's been a pattern of lack in your past, stay open to the opportunities and to what's being brought to you in the future. And I definitely see that replaying here at the bottom of your reading with Earth and the Gatherer. The Gatherer, this is gorgeous. She's got this beautiful, it's like, little pumpkins on top of her head. It's like, It's like autumn harvest, right? And so the King of Pentacles and also the Knight of Pentacles, really bringing in that energy of harvest and having everything that you need, having a beautiful meal, having, having stability in your life. So I feel like if that's important for you, pile number 3, that is something that's there for you. Now, number 17, let's take a look at Earth, at what Earth has to say. Do you feel ungrounded or easily thrown off your path lately? It is time to focus on what nurtures you, to open you up to the healing of Mother Earth, and to see the abundant world around you. Perhaps you've lost the ability to trust your needs will be met and have fallen prey to poverty consciousness. Perhaps you've not been eating well, been too overworked and stressed, and forgotten to breathe in the beauty of your surroundings. When Spirit of Earth comes as your medicine, you are being reminded that when you practice self-care, take a walk in nature, and focus on consciousness of abundance, miracles can and do happen. It's like the 4 Cups, like I was saying. Now with the Gatherer energy, let's take a look at that. I love that she has like a moon on her face there, like a little sliver of a moon. It says, do not wander too far afield in search of what Spirit has already provided. Practice paying it forward. Be thankful in advance of receiving. If you are in a scarcity mindset, open your heart to look beyond current conditions. You will find the bounty being offered to you. Practice sharing, not hoarding. Ah, I love that. Pile number 3. So you're being asked to upgrade your consciousness and really see all the gifts and be grateful for what you have in your life. And that's what your higher self is trying to tell you. So thank you, everyone. Hope you all have an abundant and amazing week.